Did you have a crypto trade go bad and you were trying to figure out how to get out of this nightmare situation? That's what this video is going to be about. Let's just jump right into it. So I had a trade that I did not get my buy layer filled. And as you can see, it was so close. It was so close, like insanely close. And like I watched this happen and I really wanted to do something about it and just buy it, and I probably should have, but sometimes I can be like too patient or not patient enough. Here's a situation of a trade, similar time frame, and it did go well. And I sold where I wanted to sell, and here's my free coins that I'm going to be selling. So what do you do in a situation like this? Now, there's a couple things that you can do. In this situation, this was what I did want to have happen. I wanted to get this particular price. I did not get the price that I wanted. And so in this case, this is like a good trade. Like in terms of like I wanted this to happen the way that it did. It didn't get filled, and now I'm going to decide whether to break even or to just wait it out or to maybe sell towards the top side of this and just make a smaller profit. Um, so that's one thing that I could do. Now, a different situation, let's say that the trade went bad, like you bought all up in here and then it just ran away, and then maybe you bought a little bit more down here and then you ran out of money. So in this case, you might be breaking even where I'm trying to sell. In that case, like let's just talk about like realistic things about what you want to do. Now, if you are putting all your money into one trade, I can't recommend that. I can't get behind that. And the reason being is because think about your car engine. You've got multiple pistons, and if one piston goes down, you can at least, drive the car somewhere safe instead of just that one piston going out and the whole engine breaks down. So I have multiple trades that are going on. As you can see, like here's this trade and then coming back to this trade. I had multiple trades that went very well in this drop that just happened. And so, it may be just a situation of like, well, you aren't doing it right in the first place. Like you aren't diversifying your bonds. Wu-Tang. So this is just what I'm saying is like, hey, look, like, you may just have to wait it out. Like you may just have to take your loss. You may just have to let it go. I mean, the circumstance is going to be based on like what you've been doing. Like if you've been doing it wrong up in here, you really should be trading this where you should be getting like small, 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 medium, large, extra, extra large. It's like, oh my gosh, like for real? It's like, yes, you should. But, most people don't do that. And this is designed to trick you into, buying all up in here. So don't feel bad. It's just kind of like, well, what do you do? And there's a rule that Quickfingers Luc talks about in his videos, which by the way, you should watch his videos. He talks about how if a coin doesn't do what you're wanting it to do in three goes and three buys, he's like he stops buying anymore. And so he may buy small, medium, maybe buy small, small, medium, but he doesn't ever get his large or extra large. He just leaves it just like this. He'll just leave it alone where he's like, hey, this is not what I was expecting to have happen. Um, and and I'm gonna quit buying, and I'm just gonna leave it alone. But what he recommends also, if that's not the case, is that if you screwed up on a trade, then just sell on the first bounce. Like the first bounce may be considered that you may be like that's the first bounce, or it may be like when it shoots up right here, that may be the first bounce. So like whatever you consider to be the first bounce, it's really subjective. It's really hard to pinpoint what this stuff is. Also, this is like the leverage tokens where it's like three times the amount of movement. So you got to be really careful with these. I'm trading this like I'm spacing my layers out three times as much, and I know what I'm doing, and I feel very safe, and I'm using very small amounts, so I'm not really like concerned about that. But this really should be the please go lower strategy because you're not making any money buying up in here. You're making all your money when it comes down to here, and so that should be your mentality. That may be your mentality that's going wrong. Like you may need to just wait this out and think about what you did. You're trying to make money happen fast, and then here it does this, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I should have been buying like way down in here. If I would have saved my money and bought way down there. So there is a factor of that. Now, what happens if like now I do hybrid A/B trading? I'm using the ProSum Solutions QFL indicator, which syncs up to AutoView, which syncs up to my exchange. Does like crypto bots, and it's dope. But here I had a situation happen where the bot fired off too many alerts at once, and my API rejected the sell signal right here. So the sell signal was actually like way up here. And then what ends up happening is it didn't fire off, and so my money is literally at the very top, which is awful because all I can do is go down from there. but I should have been selling right here when it was trying to sell up here. And so what do you do? So in a situation like this, I actually just acted like that didn't happen, and I'm just going to keep buying right here. I'm going to keep buying right here, and I'm going to keep buying. Like if it would have gone down to here, I would have bought it right there. But I got this layer filled, and I got this layer filled, and then I was able to sell it on this bounce right here. So that's an option. Now let's talk what happens when your layers don't get hit at all. Because that actually happened to me today, and it's crazy. Like doing this hybrid A/B trading, I'm using very small amounts, um, but you can see like check this out. So in this case, I wanted to sell it right there, and I was like on my phone, like trying to get this all to work, and I'm like waiting at a red light, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta sell this, and it immediately dropped down. I was like, oh, and then it came down, and bought that, and I was driving, and it didn't trigger my sell right here, as you can see, like as the price goes further down, and I'm buying more, then I'm able to sell it at a discount, but it didn't trigger that, and now look what happened. Now I'm in this layer, and it's stuck right here, and I could have broken even, but like I wasn't paying attention to this, and I probably would have broken even right here because like I should have sold right here. I could have sold right here, and now I could have sold right here, and now it's digging further down, and like this should be like trades, trades, trades. So like in this situation, what am I going to do? Well, like all I can do at this point is since it's a small amount, I could let this trade go, but this just may be a situation where it'll come down to this layer, and then I'll break even from there. So that may be because it can turn around and just come right back up. And, all it has to do is come up to my break even and I'm good. But, these are just things that you're going to have to deal with when you're trading is like that, you're going to have to know the chart, like know what the chart does. And, um, make sure that you don't have like a ton of money in riding on like one trade because you don't want to have like too many trades to manage, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to have that one trade just go south and like take your whole account down. So hopefully this information helped, and good luck trading.